The Brownies is a series of publications by Canadian illustrator and author Palmer Cox, based on names and elements from English traditional mythology and Scottish stories told to Cox by his grandmother. Illustrations with verse aimed at children, The Brownies was published in magazines and books during the late 19th century and early 20th century. The Brownie characters became famous in their day, and they were the first North American comic characters to be internationally merchandised. Brownies are little fairy or goblin-like creatures who appear at night and make mischief and do helpful tasks. As published by Palmer Cox, they were based on Scottish folk tales. The first appearances of Brownie characters in a print publication took place in 1879, but not until the February 1881 issue of Wide Awake magazine were the creatures printed in their final form. The first proper story, The Brownies' Ride, appeared in the February 1883 issue of the children's periodical St. Nicholas magazine. Published in 1899, The Brownies Abroad is considered the first Brownie comic strip, though it was mostly a text comic. It didn't utilize speech balloons until the publication The Brownie Clown of Brownietown of 1908. From 1903, The Brownies appeared as a newspaper Sunday strip for several years. The first compilation, The Brownies, Their Book, was published in 1887, followed by 16 books in the series until the last in 1918. Palmer Cox died in 1924. Beyond print publication, The Brownies was at least twice adapted to stage plays. With the rise in popularity of the Brownie characters, these were used in many venues of merchandising, such as games, blocks, cards, dolls, calendars, advertisements, package labels, mugs, plates, flags, soda pop, a slot machine, a bagatelle game, and so forth. Palmer Cox, born on April 28, 1840, and passed on July 24, 1924, was a Canadian illustrator and author, best known for The Brownies, his series of humorous verse books and comic strips about the mischievous but kind-hearted fairy-like sprites. The cartoons were published in several books, such as The Brownies, Their Book, 1887. Due to the popularity of Cox's Brownies, one of the first popular handheld cameras was named after them, the Eastman Kodak Brownie camera. George Eastman applied the brand name in promotion of Kodak's Brownie camera, but Palmer Cox reportedly never received any money from Kodak for the commercial use of his work. The earliest publication of Brownie characters took place in 1879, but not until the February 1881 issue of Wide Awake magazine were the creatures printed in their final form. In 1883, Brownie stories appeared in St. Nicholas magazine, and as their popularity rose, they were covered in publications such as the Ladies' Home Journal. Cox's Brownies were little men who had mischievous adventures together. Each Brownie had a distinctive physical appearance. Jolly Boutonniere wore a top hat and monocle, while others wore traditional Turkish, Irish, German, Swedish, Russian, and Chinese garb. There was an Eskimo, an American Indian, even an Uncle Sam. Much of the success of his books can be attributed to his treatment of the characters, who portray human nature with its goodness and strength, and also its follies, but never its baseness. As Cox developed his own Brownies, he retained characteristics found in the Brownies of folklore, but he made notable changes. Whereas the Scottish Brownie is usually a solitary being who remains in one household performing his domestic chores or field work, Cox's Brownies are gregarious, always banding together and moving from place for their frolics and deeds of kindness. The legendary Brownie of Scotland, in Cox's words, was good-natured and harmless, never injuring anyone or doing any damage, and it was thought a very fortunate thing to have a Brownie about the house. No one could see the Brownie, only those gifted with second sight. Cox believed that Brownies were so named because of their brown hair and weather-beaten countenances. Cox died at his 17-room dream home, named Brownie Castle, at Granby, Quebec, July 24, 1924. His headstone has a Brownie figure and the inscription, "In creating the Brownies, he bestowed a priceless heritage on childhood."